And what's happening out there, guys? Welcome along to an episode of the 420 News on Martin's World. It's been a little bit there since we've been on here. I had a little bit of tidying up to do actually here before going live, but it's good to be back. See a nice few of you out there already getting the comments into the hot box. Do keep them coming. We will read them out there in a couple of seconds as we get into the show. Yeah, a little underprepared actually. Thought I had my grinder already grinded. Looks like I'm grinding some of the Do You Want It or Not haze. I trust who I bought it off that it is a haze, but it's some sort of an import anyway, definitely, like, because the guy I got it off definitely wasn't growing it. And it's got a serious hazy vibe to it, like, in terms of the smell, so happy days. It's been a while since having a bit of the Do You Want It or Not had haze. Beggars can't be choosers. I see Casa das Drogas out there in the hot box. Casa, actually, you must reply back to yourself there in a second. Sorry, just been a bit all over the place there getting out here. But Casa might be joining us on here in a little bit for an old chat, yeah? As you're actually lined up here for the, you might have seen that there on the opening screen actually. You're lined up there for the first bit of 420 News, a recent post there by yourself, Casa. So maybe in a little bit you might be able to jump on here and we can chat a little bit more about that. But I will get that link there to you in a little bit. First things first, though, a little civil disobedience to get the show started. Happy 420, guys, and it is 420 Eve in a way, I suppose. It'll be the last 420 News before the 420 hits us, so in that way it is Martin's World's 420 Eve. It's the week of which 420 falls on. It's going to be this Saturday, guys, so who has their calendar cleared for this Saturday? Who's going to be making it above to Dublin for the big smoke up that's happening above there? Or who wants to have a little protest here in Cork? I know it's very short notice, and I don't mind if there's only a handful of us go down there for this. And I've been very slow to actually commit to this because, look, I have a lot of other stuff going on personal in the background there. Unfortunately, look, just not to go too deep into it, but unfortunately the girlfriend's mom there isn't well, so I just have to make sure that I'm a bit more available than normal. So I've been very slow to actually make a commitment there for 420 this year, just unfortunately because of that. So do keep in mind, guys, there is Dublin. There's a big smoke up above there in Dublin, but what I'm proposing for down here in Cork, and all going well, I should be free 420 this Saturday. And there's a lovely little public space down there, the Church of the Assumption, is that what it's called? The Church of the Assumption there in Blackpool. There's a nice little space there right next to that. And my proposal is that a couple of us in and around the Cork area, cannabis enthusiasts, people who believe that we as cannabis consumers should not be criminalised, well, if you feel strongly enough about it, then come join me on 420 this Saturday at 420. And we'll engage in a little bit of civil disobedience together, you know, as we do it here all the time on the show. Well, on this Saturday, my intention is to be out there in public. And there's a very specific reason for choosing that location, because you're probably wondering, why aren't you in the city centre? Why Blackpool? Why next to this church? That's right in front of the office of the new Minister for Drugs, the new Minister with responsibility for our national drug strategy, Colin Burke. So Colin Burke, his office is located in Blackpool, right opposite that church that I mentioned there. I believe it's the Church of the Assumption, I think it's called. Yeah, it's a nice spot. It's got some nice benches there, nice clear spot. It would easily accommodate about 50 people. Easily accommodated 50 people in just that one little square, and if we had more than 50 people actually show up there this Saturday at 420 on 420, then there's plenty of space outside of that little square there, where we'd easily accommodate another 150. You know, just in case a lot of people wanted to come out there and participate in the civil disobedience this Saturday. Well, guys, not only do you have Dublin as an option, but you do have Cork as an option too. I was talking about this 2 weeks ago before I went off on a little break there, went and visited Paris. But now I'm back and I'm ready to make that commitment here today. Do keep in mind though, it is up in the air. Look, anything could happen between now and then. And look, if shit hits the fan and if the worst happens on my side, I might not be able to even make it myself. But hopefully, maybe a couple of yourselves will get down there and fly the flag, even if I wasn't to be there. But look, fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But look, let's offer that one up to the higher powers that all goes well on Saturday, and I will see a couple of your beautiful faces down there to join me in a little civil disobedience outside of the new minister with responsibility for National Drug Strategies Office, Colin Burke. Spark that up a little bit of gold. So as I was saying, I've just been a bit preoccupied as of lately. I will get a poster together there before the end of the day, and I will get that circulated about the announcement for a little protest happening Saturday here in Cork, down in Blackpool, the Church of the Assumption. Actually, just going to pull her up on maps, just so that there's just so there's no confusion. Boom. Boom, there you go. There's that map up on that screen. So, there you go. This is Cork City, Blackpool, Watercourse Road. Then you have the late night pharmacy, just a little bit up from that late night pharmacy. It's the Church of the Annunciation. What did I say? Assumption? That's probably because of Assumption Hill there, Assumption Road next to it, maybe. The Annunciation, so the Church of the Annunciation. So there it is in Blackpool. Nice little spot down there. Has a little river flowing alongside it, although it's kind of long since been covered up. You really have to go to your way to try to see the river down there these days. Where is show imagery? I want a satellite view. Oh, there it is. Boom. So there's your satellite view. Watercourse Road, Church of the Annunciation, Blackpool. And as I said, guys, there's a nice little square here next to it, or rectangle with a bit of a curve at the end, if you want to be specific. And that's where I propose that we meet and we engage in protest, civil disobedience, and right across here next to Dunlees, I believe he's number 46. Let's drop this little walking dude. There he goes. Swing him around and look, there you go. Colin Burke TD. And this is where I propose we protest. So there we go. We should be able to get Colum's attention there Saturday. We're down in his constituency. Come on, like we make a little bit of noise down there. We engage with his constituents, of which I am one. And we see if we can rally up a bit of support there and see if we can get a response from Colin Burke. As to date, I've been unsuccessful in getting a response from him through the limited means that I've tried. But yeah, his number is actually there on his constituency office. There's probably no point to give him a buzz on air, is there? Like, be rude as well, wouldn't it? So there you go, guys. Saturday, 4:20 on 4:20. Hope to see you there. Boom. A Zoom link, right? Let's get that to Casa. Friendly grower, what's happening? He says, hi guys, hope you're all having an excellent day. Yeah, not going too badly here anyway. Not too badly at all. Just getting a Zoom link set up there, and we'll get an invite out to Casa de Strugas, who will join us then as soon as he is free. No meeting. All going well. I should be able to retain audio. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Casa, you just might not be able to see me. You know what I look like. Boom. Invite participants. Copy invite link. Boom. There we go. Now we're moving. That should be in your Telegram there, Casa. Now, no pressure at all anyway. Join whenever you feel free. We will converse there about some other news that is there. Just recently above in Dublin, there was 1.2 million euro worth of, or 1 million euro worth of cannabis. Was it 1 million euro worth of cannabis? Yeah, this is more an extensive coverage there of recent seizures. Pop this one up on screen there for you while we await the arrival of Casa. There's been some significant seizures around the island of Ireland in April 2024, apparently. This is all a part, again, of Operation Tara, as you can see here, you know, K District Drug Unit. K District is because they've got a lot of special K on the table. No? K. Inside the K, wasn't that the TV show, actually? Geez, that really wrecked my head watching that TV show. If any of you watched it, it was a TV show that covered, followed some guards above there inside the K, I believe it's called. I think that's like the slang for is it Tala? I think it was Tala. The K. I don't know what that is. Is it District K? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, here we see K District. Yeah, so yeah, District K. Up on the table, a lot of wraps, some cannabis there as well, I would imagine. In some of these, I've often seen weed wrapped up in some of that. Herbal cannabis worth over 1 million seized by Revenue over the past week, and this was Revenue said its officers seized herbal cannabis worth over 1 million during a number of operations in Dublin over the course of the week beginning on the 8th of April. Revenue said its officers examining parcels at a premises in Dublin made the discoveries as a result of risk profiling. Risk profiling. Come on, in fairness, like, what does that even mean? Like, risk profiling, like is it just profiling? You know, that they have packages that, you know, that are suspect? Is it locations? Is that what a risk profiling is? You know, all right, there's a number of states there in the US, now Thailand, Germany. You know, is that what the risk profiling is? Does that mean packages coming in from Germany, which, like, I do believe Amazon have a big distribution hub there in Germany, because I have ordered from Amazon.de, isn't it, or something like that, or whatever the German one is, because you get some stuff a bit cheaper there from them anyhow. But does that mean that they're going to be inspected more now because the Germans have decriminalised? Come on, like, what a waste of time. Among the discoveries were 55.6 kilos of herbal cannabis with an estimated value of 1.113 million euro. Like, hey, what a waste of time. 1.113 million euro. We could have been generating a revenue off of that. We could have been getting a stream of income off that, creating jobs. Instead, look at the state of the jobs that we're creating. We're empowering organised crime gangs while wasting the time of an incredibly valuable resource to the state, which is the arms of the law. You know, the revenue there, who could be, I don't know, what else could they be watching to be coming in? People who are trying to fucking rip off the state, avoid taxes, smuggling in cigarettes. You know, if we legalised cannabis, they could still be looking for cannabis. People who are trying to fucking import it illegally in order to avoid paying taxes, because, you know, potentially the government might overtax it like they have done to cigarettes. Ugh. But they say, in addition, Revenue said various quantities of other illicit drugs with an estimated value of 112,000 were also seized. Revenue says these seizures were made with the assistance of its detector dogs, and that investigation into all seizures are ongoing. As I say again, like, you know, the time that goes into training these dogs too, you know, those dogs will be trained for so much better uses. Gardaí discovered 38,000 euro worth of cannabis jellies, 27,000 euro worth of cannabis herb. This was seized in Dublin District, Dublin 9, Gardaí said the seizure of a large quantity of cannabis jellies and cannabis herb during a search operation in Dublin 9 on the 11th of April was made. The Gardaí said they discovered the suspected cannabis jellies with an estimated value of get 38,000. Like, come on. During the search of a property in Santry around 1 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. Like, 38,000. If that's what's on this table is worth just the jellies on it alone, is it any wonder that these criminals are going to, all sorts of means in order to sell these, because they're not even selling cannabis anymore infused in these things. You're finding all sorts of uh, undesirable compounds being found inside in these. If you're lucky, you might get hit with some HHC or something like that. But if you're very unlucky, you could be getting hit with some synthetic cannabinoids, much more dangerous than the likes of something like HHC. That's the problem here, and these then are very attractive to minors, unfortunately, because of the packaging, the easy to consume nature of these products, and the fact they don't smell. If you're a young person trying to smoke a joint, could be quite problemsome if you got some dank shit. But eating a couple of strawberry flavored jellies infused with some, hopefully THC. Is a lot more easy. It's a lot more easier to conceal, especially if you're hiding it at the back of your drawer at home. At your back of your jock's drawer. Jeez, I can remember the days and it would be wrapped in cling film, and you open your jock's drawer, and next bang, the smell of weed hits you, like shit. So to the person trying to conceal it, like these products are a lot more attractive. And unfortunately, those minors are a lot more at risk to being ripped off and taken advantage of by nefarious criminals who would sell them something that isn't what it's supposed to be. But look, you all know this out there already, don't you? Gardaí said he also discovered suspected cannabis herb of 27,000 during the course of the search. So again, the cannabis herb is there, an attractor, bringing them in, and then, hey, do you want some cannabis edibles there as well with your cannabis herb? Gardaí said the suspected drugs are now subject to analysis by the Forensic Science Ireland, and one person was arrested. Like all of this, one person arrested. How easy is that person replaced? Like, that person has been replaced 10 times over. Because that's what happens. There's a vacuum created after a person like this is removed out of, say, the community. There's a vacuum created, and a number of people might try to fill it, potentially seeing an increase in violence maybe in that area, because maybe the new person coming in, or one of the new people coming in, would be more rootless than the one they took out of there. The knock-on consequences, the Gardaí successful operation. Sorry, no, but seriously. Just making sure that we're not waiting any participants there in the Zoom room. So there you go. That's a number of seizures that are being made across the island. This was on InsideIreland.ie. They have a little explainer section here then as well, kind of explaining what cannabis-infused edibles are. But what they say here is interesting. They say cannabis edibles are products such as jelly sweets containing the psychoactive cannabis component known as tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC. There is growing availability in Ireland of food products, in particular jelly sweets, that contain significant amounts of the illicit narcotic drug THC. But again, come on, where's the warning there to minors, who are going to be the ones who are more likely to consume these, that these products are commonly contaminated with compounds that are not THC, that are far more potent than THC, and potentially a lot more dangerous as well than THC, as THC has been used for millennia by humans, and it's quite tolerable to the human body. But some of these other, like spice shit, that kind of stuff, the U4 whatever, MNZ, all of that crap, all those letters, man, that stuff is dangerous. Excuse me. Oh, where's me tea? So it's what's the legal status here then? It says, according to Gardaí, the use of cannabis-infused edibles such as jelly sweets, chocolates, cookies and confectionery is a relatively new trend in Ireland. No, it's a new trend so far as like these products in packaging. But to be fair, like the use of cannabis edibles in Ireland is it's been around all the time. It's just not very common that they were sold more often or not. You know, you were burning your nodge into your yogurt, and that was your cannabis edible. Or you were potentially decarbing some of your own cannabis that you might buy and making some butter and making some cookies with that. But the buying of them, that I suppose the buying is a new trend. Um, but the consumption of them isn't. You know what did I say again? According to the Gardaí, the use of no. See that's where the use of it's the selling of cannabis infused edibles is a new trend. The use of no, come on guys, like is that a new trend? Are edibles a new trend, guys? Stop, get off the stage, cops. Like whoever's writing this, I'm sorry not to be ripping into what's your name, Kieran, Hannah. Apologies, but seriously, come on. I'm happy to converse with you if you wanna do further explanations here on this, or you can just use what I'm putting out here on this podcast if you happen to come across it. Any product infused with THC is a controlled drug under the Misuse of Drugs Act 1977/1984, and their possession is illegal. The FSAI said the cannabis edibles are illegal food containing THC and come in many forms, but primarily jelly sweets. And furthermore, in food, THC is considered a contaminant with no permanent threshold in the EU or Irish food law, said the FSAI. That's the Food and Safety Authority Ireland. Again, like there's no mention here from the Food and Safety Authority Ireland that the Forensic Science Ireland, the FSI, detected more than 50% of edibles actually to be contaminated with things that are not THC, you know? That over 50% of the edibles tested by their labs had no THC and instead were containing other novel compounds. Come on. Are cannabis edibles safe? The FSI, let's see. The FSI states the high concentrations of these can pose a serious health risk, particularly to teenagers and children of all ages whose neurological, physical, and psychological development could be impacted negatively. Again, they're much better protected, guys, if you regulated these products and if they still got access to them. At least there's quality assurance, regulation there, and the strength then is known, and at least there's proper conversations could be had around the consumption. You know, kids could be better educated, you know, knowing that 10 milligrams is actually a relatively decent dose for a first timer. It's actually a recommended for serving size over in California, over in the US and a number of states where cannabis is legal. 10 milligrams of THC is a recommended serving size for an individual dose. But it says here, depending on the THC concentration, eating one of these jellies can mean ingesting a level of THC that is 5 to 10 times higher than inhaled when smoking cannabis. The real concern is that children are not aware of the dangers, and if they manage to gain access to a bag of these jellies, they will rarely eat just one, and therefore overdosing is a very likely outcome. Unlike the almost immediate effects of smoking cannabis, there is at least a 30-minute time delay from consumption of cannabis edibles until the initial effects are felt. At least that's somewhat useful information there. Somewhat useful information. They go on to say that this poses a serious risk to those who have eaten these jellies who might mistakenly believe that they need to consume several jellies to feel an effect, and then they find they have overdosed. Overdosed, like it's such a word with like very strong connotations associated to it. But in fairness, like an overdose on cannabis edibles, like it's not the overdose, like, you know, where a person is fucking frothing from the mouth, convulsing on the floor, and is going into cardiac arrest. It's an overdose where, one situation, a person might be running around with their pants around their ankles, thinking they're going to die. What reason their pants was around their ankles, I don't know, but that happened, and that was funny. Because I knew they weren't going to die. Anyhow, moving on. Cannabis toxicity can cause cognitive and motor impairment, and in the case of children, this can be extreme, lasting up to 24 to 36 hours after consumption. But again, after 36, let's say 48 hours, it's transient. The effects wear off. The child returns back to normal functioning ability, you know, and there is no like lasting effect there afterwards. It's not traumatic to the child. Says Gardaí advise that if a young person is taking these products, medical attention should be sought immediately by calling 999 or 112. And again, what this is doing here, Gardaí advise that if a young person is taking these products, medical attention should be sought. And I suppose they're not wrong in giving that warning, but the reason that they should be given that warning is that potentially, because of the illegal nature of these products, they could be actually after consuming something that isn't THC, and potentially it could be a fatal reaction they could suffer. But if it is THC that they're after getting access to in these edibles, then the likelihood of actually really needing medical attention is low. Like, to be fair, like, you just have to reassure the person they're going to be fine. Make sure they stay hydrated. Give them plenty. Don't give them some orange juice. Plenty of, like, sugary treats and things like that. If they get the munchies. But, like, just positive reassurance. Don't laugh at them and take the piss out of them. Like, I might have done to one or two people. But they're adults, they could take it. If it's a young person, again, just reassure them you're going to be grand. Sleep it off, walk it off. Guidance and safety advice around these substances has recently been made available by the HSE. Here, click there. Further information on cannabis and food edibles is available on garda.ie here. So let's follow through on these links just for the crack. So let's just hit through to this. G, you're not in the Zoom room waiting or anything? No? Good. That looks good. Necessary cookies on HSE drug trend risks like Jolly Ranchers, THC. I'm just quickly glancing through here. They do hit off a synthetic cannabinoid exposure here. They give highlights on bullet points here with signs of concern: feeling dizzy, confusion, abnormal sweating, respiratory issues, difficulty breathing or lack of breathing, chest pain / rapid heartbeat, nausea, vomiting, agitation, aggression, psychotic behaviour, hallucinations, delusions, seizures or fits. And why these are signs for concern, guys? Because, like, none of these actually fit, like, a reaction to cannabis. Like confusion, okay, you could say confusion, okay, if you're confused, yeah, you could potentially still have cannabis and you mightn't actually be exposed to synthetic cannabinoids, but the majority of the rest of them, abnormal sweating, okay, there's a low risk of that happening, like, really, like, difficulty breathing or lack of breathing. Again, if you start thinking you're not breathing and stuff like that's probably just in your own mind. I know people as well will hear their heartbeat for the first time when really stoned, and think that the heartbeat is rapid, and then you throw on like a fucking Fitbit in them, and you're like, man, your heart's beating like 70, 68, which is normal for a person standing up. Even it's actually probably a bit slow for a person standing up and panicking. Can also lead to a sudden loss of consciousness. This is talking again about the synthetic cannabinoids there. So they'll be concerned. They were given a warning here about these Jolly Ranchers, which tested positive for these synthetic cannabinoids. So they'll be warned. 15 grams worth of cannabis in County Monaghan on the 10th of April. Just over a week ago, 9.7 kilos. A man in his 30s was arrested. Waste of time. PSNI said detectives from the police service in Northern Ireland's organised crime branch discovered a quantity of suspected Class A and Class B controlled drugs following a search at a 10 and on April 10th in County Down. Excuse me. What's the Class B? Oh, edibles, maybe? They class differently above there? Because they just talk about cannabis. Yeah, there was nothing else as Class A and Class B, but they don't actually state what the LSD. Class B, speed, ketamine. Yeah, so Class A. Bit of heroin. But a person use coke. Most likely a tiny bit of cocaine, probably. Cannabis Grow House above in Roscommon. Also on the 10th of April. €180,000 worth of cannabis. Heartbreaker, really. But look, unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing the benefits of this, because if this was to be legal and regulated, there would be jobs created. This could be grown in a quality assured way. And people could be getting a high quality, locally produced product. Unfortunately, a lot of this cannabis could have been repackaged, relabeled as Cali, and people get ripped off for it. It could have been fucking dried improperly, speed dried, and the quality therefore is lowered, and therefore people again getting a lower quality product on the other end of it. Consumers need protection. That's what the government should be there for, is to protect consumers, not punish us. Like, to be fair, is that not what their job is? Like, is to protect us, like like and serve us? Really, the government. They're punishing us. They've imposed their will on us. Really, when you look back at it and how the Misuse of Drugs Act was actually put in place, it wasn't really democratic in a sense that they honestly engaged with people on the subject. It was just rammed down people's throats, much like fucking the hatred for, say, homosexuality at one point in time was rammed down people's throats because of fear of speaking up against the church here. Pretty much the same with drugs, wasn't that? But boom, explaining here about Operation Tara. She's launched on the 2nd of July 2021, and when she's to end? I thought it was a 4-year thing, so 2025, June next year, 2025. I wonder what their stats are now under Operation Tara. I've not seen a compilation of Operation Tara's achievements to date. But Gardaí said the focus of Operation Tara is to disrupt, dismantle and prosecute drug trafficking networks at all levels, international, national, local, involved in the importation, distribution, cultivation, production, local sale and supply of controlled drugs. Even that word, controlled drugs, like when you think about it, they're anything but controlled. Unless by controlled I mean controlled by organised crime groups, then yes, they're controlled, alright. But controlled in the sense that the law would make you believe, no. Large-scale cannabis cultivation operation in County Roscommon, another €700,000 worth of suspected cannabis plants above in County Roscommon on the 9th of April. Heartbreaker, like, look at this, an old stool there. Man, someone's little trimming. No. Look at that photo. That's somebody's little trimming studio, like their little trimming room. And as I said, look, improperly stored and like maybe it's only a temporary thing, putting them into those cardboard boxes. But for me, that would be a cause for concern if they were to be left in there for a prolonged period of time, because anything at the bottom or in the middle is at risk of potentially becoming mouldy if that's just after being freshly cut off of the stem, then trimmed and put in a box, like retaining like all of its moisture. The likelihood of some like mold developing inside and that it's quite high. No, I'm not dissing the person. I'm only just kind of thinking out loud here as I look at this, like, the cause for concern as a person who understands, quality assurance and production of cannabis. Then that's a cause for concern right there if that was to be left in that state for a prolonged period of time, because the people then at the receiving end could be getting a contaminated product, like covered in a bit of bloody mold. You look at the standards over in the US, man, like that they're constantly rejecting cannabis from growers because it's got too high a microbial content, because the fungal levels are a bit higher than what are acceptable. Gardaí said the cannabis plants and cannabis herb worth 700,000 were seized. Gardaí said the search was conducted as part of an ongoing investigation under Operation Tara, targeting suspected cannabis grow houses. 3 men aged in their 30s were arrested and later charged to appear before a special sitting of Roscommon District Court on the 11th of April. They go on here, 95,000 worth of tablets in Dublin, 480,000 worth of cannabis in Shannon Airport. Again, here you see it packaged up. 23 kilos. A woman in her 60s was arrested. A woman in her 60s. Herbal cannabis worth over £1 million, Belfast Airport, 7th of April. Like, these seizures just keep going on. And they'll keep going on as long as prohibition continues. People will always be, you're never going to be able to quench out that human desire to alter one's consciousness in the various ways that are available to us. Whether it be through the use of substances or whether it be through the use of techniques. Like, what are they going to do next? Like, ban holotropic breathing because people are, like, fucking reaching altered states of consciousness after, engaging in a specific form of breathwork? Imagine, imagine. Lad, oh, lad. Ah. So we leave it there on that one because this does continue on for quite some bit. Herbal cannabis, 268,000, 430,000, all cannabis there. Just continues 400,000 worth of cannabis, 1.1 million worth of cannabis. Like, come on, is the government not waking up to this? What are they actually at all? Why will they not engage in this topic? Colin Burke, I'm looking at you, buddy. Come on, engage with us. Let's have a conversation. I'm so close to you, dude. But yeah, I might as well be so fair too. But seriously, Colin, I do want to have that conversation. I really do. And that's what Saturday is going to be all about. Saturday is going to be about highlighting the need to have an honest, open conversation with policymakers on the need to reform our drug policies here in Ireland, specifically around cannabis, but the wider conversation on all drugs needs to be also had too. Specifically around cannabis because it is 420, our national global holiday. Mr. Finnegan says, anyone who watches this podcast is at risk of being profiled. I think that's what it means, Martin. I'm not that notorious yet, John. Although I do get I do get spotted quite a bit by cops. I was doing a window there again 2 weeks ago. I fit the windscreen for a cop, and I got recognised. It was funny enough. It was down below in Middleton. And no surprise they recognised me because of my escapades down there. Got brought to court down there. Spent a little bit of time down there under arrest. They were, and honest to God, they were super sound. I have to say that. I hope anybody else out there hasn't had any other opposite interactions with the cops in Middleton. Although they brought me in, arrested me, and had to charge me, they were super sound. They didn't actually even want to do it. It was the top-down type of thing. It was these people. No wonder that the cops are leaving the force in such numbers. I think there was an article out there yesterday that there's a bit of an epidemic there within the Garda force, that there's all these new recruits coming on. They're just not happy. They're not being listened to, I believe is what was being kind of said there. And they're leaving in their droves. We're investing all this money in training them, and then they kind of get in there, find that it's not what they thought it was going to be, and they leave. And what I believe was, again, even my experience down there in Middleton on that evening when I was arrested I say, they didn't put me in the cell. Thankfully, they were very nice, let me sit in the office with them and just for chatting. And while I was chatting there, and why I believe what I believe is because a call came in. It was a welfare check on an elderly gentleman. I believe the elderly gentleman was wearing one of those watches that if he falls over or if he's in need of assistance, he can press the button, and there's a call goes out for a welfare check then for that person. And I said it to the cop who was processing my paperwork at the time. I goes, I bet you would love to be able to just get the keys there and hop in the car and go down and check on that elderly person in the local area. And he said, yeah. I would, and I goes, I bet you that's more along the line. That's more aligned with the reasons you joined the guards than to be sitting here processing me. And he said, he goes, you're spot on. He goes, you're spot on. And there was about 6 other guards in the room. There was like 2 band guards, I believe, 4 other male guards. 2 of those male guards were actually plainclothes drug squad, I suppose, if you will. And they all agreed with me. Not one of the guards in that room that evening actually said, you're some langer, that's never going to happen, like that's I'll wreck the gaff. Every one of them actually agreed with what I was saying, is that it was a waste of their time and that they would much rather be out there calling around doing a welfare check on the locally elderly who might be in need of assistance, who might be just in need of somebody fucking calling by to them to feel that they're noticed because that's much more aligned with the reason they actually join. Because I all too often get this kind of hatred almost towards the cops for what they're doing to me and stuff, but I understand that for a lot of them it's not what they want to be doing. And I know I was talking with somebody else, and it's like, if that's not what they want to be doing, they should just leave. It's not always that easy, unfortunately. But at the same time, it's hard not to be a bit angry with him as well at the same time. It's like, come on, man, you don't even need to fucking report this. But I do, it's like, I've been there at the side of the road with the cops, fucking, after getting your bag of weed off of you. And you're like, come on, boy, just throw it away. You don't even need to report it. Like, just throw it away. Look, John, it would be done, but just leave me alone. Like, it's not doing anything. And they're like, oh, no, I have to process yours. You don't. You didn't even need to pull me in the first place, but they know what they're doing. They want to climb up that career ladder, that they probably want to be able to buy that fucking BMW or, upgrade the house or whatever, go on that nice sun holiday for themselves with the family. But to do so, they have to step on people like me and you out there, wreck our lives. No, like, sorry, I just can't stand by it, and that's why I protest. That's why I do what I do, and that's why I'm on here speaking shit like I am today. But it was surreal to be in that office that evening and to have all of those guards in agreement with me, because I never get to see that side of them. They